Welcome back, NGDL fans. The Miami Dolphins might have been eliminated this week against the Novato Noiverns, but I have the other conference championship for you here. The winner of this match will also go in to face the Novato Noiverns in the Nacho Bowl. So this is truly a David versus Goliath kind of battle. You have the Jacksonville Fulhamites, who kind of has just been the best team in the league all season long at 15-2. Including, of course, their first playoff win, which I did not decide to put on this channel. I think it would have been a little too much, but I wanted to post the other conference championship, which is this game, and I will also be posting the final game, dubbed the Nacho Bowl, between the winner of this game and Novato. Now, as I said, this is like a David and Goliath story. Jacksonville has been completely dominant in that conference, being the only team to get greater than 10 wins. Meanwhile, the DC Sceptiles barely made it to the playoffs as a wild card. Actually, they were the first wild card. There's two teams 500 and below in that conference, so that made the playoffs. So it's pretty crazy. This was a conference truly dominated by one juggernaut team, but the DC Sceptiles definitely was impressive towards the end of the season. They won. They started the season very poorly. I think they started the season like 2-5. I could be wrong about that, but they were able to fight their way back to that wild card position. And they won the playoff game against their division winner, the Alomamola. The Alomamola. Yes, okay, there we go. That's what it's called. But yeah, so like I said, let's take a look at these teams. I think this battle will be a little more interesting than you might suspect just by looking at the records. So starting with Jacksonville. So here we go. So first of all, I just want to say that I chose the side of which to post randomly. I flipped a coin, so we're going to actually take a look at this battle will be from the Jacksonville perspective. So there's their roster. They took Mimikyu off the hands of the defeated East End Goats. They decided to ditch their first playoff draft Pokemon, Megalopunny, and this is just a well-drafted team from start to finish. You have that obviously value pick at $1 Ditto. You have the Porygon Z, and because Rainbow Boosts are allowed in the NGDL, it's been very powerful with Z conversion. In fact, I think it's the league-wide kill leader. You have Tapu Koko, which adds a lot to what he can do, and just another offensive threat. You have Torkoal for the Stealth Rocks, and of course you have Shuckle for that role as well. Cloyster is a sweeping threat. Pretty much everything else in this team is a sweeping threat. But yeah, that is what we're looking at here. But yeah, he has a good mix of sweepers and bulky Pokemon, and it's a team that was proven to be the strongest in the league. And I had this guy as the number one in my preseason power rankings. Pat on the back there. And he's definitely shown it. And him being part of the weaker conference probably inflated the record a little bit, but let's just face it, he's probably the best team in the league. So here's the roster of the DC Sceptiles. They're actually my week 1 opponent. I was able to win against them, but here they are, battling all the way back. Like I said, it's a bit of a David and Goliath battle here, but they are not defenseless. They are not going to just roll over. There is one reason in particular, and that is the pick of a Mega Charizard in the playoff draft. You take a look at Fulham's roster, he has absolutely nothing once Mega Charizard X gets set up. And obviously, I was talking to a few people before the match. This is going to be an interesting matchup because of that Mega Charizard. If you want to go back and take a look at Ham's team, he has nothing to take a +1 hit from Mega Charizard X. Now, he does have Ditto, but as long as Skep makes sure that he doesn't bring Earthquake or a Dragon move on that Mega Charizard X, that Ditto is not going to be able to revenge sweep kill, because Mega Charizard X, X4 resists fire moves. So it is a big, big threat to Fulham. Now, Fulham is good enough that he's going to recognize this threat, definitely, but it is still a huge weakness of Fulham's team. And this might be the key to a possible upset victory. Now, obviously, the other most interesting thing about this roster is that Mewtwo, he went through quite a few Ubers, transacting them away, trying to find the right fit. He started off with Marshadow, as you might recall from our Week 1 match. He switched eventually to, I think, Giratina, and eventually settled on Mewtwo. So he's going to have to hope that that Mewtwo can also help against, the Goliath that is the Fulhamites. As he beat the Alomamolas, he was able to swap using the Battle Factory swap of the playoffs to grab Raikou from him. He decided to drop his Caillou and Black. So he's hoping that Raikou will also give him an edge as a pivoter slash bulky dog thingy that can hit with electric moves. And he's also hoping probably that it'll make use of the electric terrain that Ham is definitely going to set up with his Tapu Koko. I know that was a long setup, but I felt like I needed to go through those teams. And here's what they decided to bring. No Ditto for Fulham. So it's going to be interesting to see how he plays that Mega Charizard. And yeah, it's not much different than you would expect these two teams to bring. Let's see how it plays out. And yeah, so we are going from the perspective of Jacksonville Fulhamites, who are going to lead with their Shuckle. The DC Sceptiles lead with Meowstic. And this is going to be, I believe, the male form, which specializes in status moves and support. So he's going to go for that Magic Coat, and Fulham is going to go ahead and not expect that, setting up the Stealth Rocks on his side of the field, which is not what you want. So Shuckle is now going to, I believe, go for Infestation, kind of seeing what this Meow Mix wants to do. So he's going to go ahead and do the Infestation. It's super effective, but still not going to do that much because Shuckle has, like, no stacks. But it is going to trap the Meowstic so it can't switch out. Fulham now, of course, is going to want to get rid of those Stealth Rocks that he set up on himself, going out into Scizor, which is going to be his Defogger, more than likely. And Skep can now switch out, being that the Infestation is gone. He goes out into his Charizard, and like I said, this is his trump card. So in comes the Defog, and he's going to go ahead and Mega Evolve. Now, well, let's just go ahead and take a look. So here comes the Mega Evolution, and he's going to go for the Fire Punch right off the bat. Now, Fulham is now Sucker. He's going to go ahead and expect, he knew that this was coming, so he ends up bringing the Aqua Berry here in his Scissor, but the overwhelming power of Mega Charizard X, and mind you, this is Fire Punch, not even Flare Blitz, its strongest fire move, still KOs the Scissor, so I don't know if that was max damage or something, but yeah, that's not good for Ham. So in comes Charizard. He goes for the Substitute, which is a move he brought along, hoping to get an easy sweep, because Substitute can, in the right situation, be game over for Ham. So now he's going to want to set up here against the Shuckle. He's going to go for that Dragon Dance, as the Shuckle, in return, doesn't seem to be phased by it, and he's going to be able to set up some hazards on the field of the DC Sceptiles. And we're going to see why in a minute. So Charizard looks like it's going to be nice right here with the +1 and the Substitute. He goes for the Fire Punch to hopefully 2-hit KO the Shuckle, but the Shuckle reveals a red card. So that is just the Fulhamites being very prepared, knowing that Shuckle cannot be 1-hit KO'd, even at, +6 due to its sturdy ability. And the red card, shooing away that Charizard. Now, that Charizard can come back in, and that would be a major problem for Ham. So he's going to have to, now that his little trump card there, the red card, was revealed, he has to be very, very careful not to allow Charizard to come back in and set up. Anyway, so Meowstic comes back out, and once again, it's going to go ahead and get infested, and he's going to go ahead and T-Wave. I guess this Meowstic does not have any attacking moves, so, and being that it's now trapped by Infestation, you've used the best play to go ahead and maybe paralyze the Shuckle, although that's not really going to help you, because eventually this Meowstic is going to down, but he doesn't have much of a choice. He is going to set up his screens. He set up the Reflect earlier. Now he's going to set up the Light Screen, realizing that he's going to die soon. In fact, I think he'll die next turn to the Infestation, as the Shuckle gets, paralyzed. And Ham is actually going to go ahead and switch out into Cloyster here. Again, he's going to make a nice heads-up play, going for the T-Wave on the switch, knowing that he's, he probably will die. Yeah, the Cloyster ends up having the Lumberry, so he's protected from status. However, of course, Meowstic can once again just go for that T-Wave, which will cripple the Cloyster's chance at sweeping. And, of course, he gets the Parahax here, which is even better for him. And he is going to go ahead and withdraw, knowing that he doesn't have anything else to threaten the Cloyster, and he doesn't want to give it 2 Shell Smashes. So in comes the Raikou. It is going to get caught in the sticky web. Being that Paralyze was nerfed, so it only does half speed, Fulham knows that after a Shell Smash, thanks to his sticky web, he will still be able to outspeed pretty much anything. So he's going to get his boosts. So as long as he doesn't get Parahaxed here, he will be able to take out this Raikou potentially. But he does get the Parahax. So a little bit of luck going in the DC Sceptiles' favor. They're going to need a little bit more of that, especially with the hazards now on their field. So in comes Savion here, his Silvally, and it's shiny, and I don't know what type that is by looking at it. But whatever. In comes... So he's going to go into Mimikyu. Ham's going to go into Mimikyu, which is one of his other outs to Charizard X, although not with the Substitute. But either way, he's going to go for the Swords Dance. Obviously, that's what Mimikyu wants to do. Skep is just going to go for the Parting Shot. Probably a little bit of a mistake for him. He wanted to probably break the Disguise at least with that turn, but at least the Parting Shot will put him back to only down to +1. But he's going to go out and go into his Gardevoir, which doesn't have great defense. Now, it's not weak to Ghost anymore, since it picked up the Fairy type in Gen 6, but the Shadow Sneak will still do quite a bit of damage. Interesting that he went for a Shadow Sneak there, being that he probably outsped that Gardevoir anyway, due to the sticky webs. That may mean he doesn't actually carry the Shadow Claw, or he's afraid of this Gardevoir being Choice Scarfed, which it might have actually very well been. Either way, another Shadow Shadow Sneak will be able to take him out, and Gandy's going to go ahead and go into his Uber now, the obviously iconic Mewtwo. Now, Mewtwo is weak to Ghost, so this is a bit of a question mark decision until he reveals his berry. The Shadow Claw does come, so indeed he was afraid of the Scarf, and yeah, he's going to be able to carry the Cassie berry, the Ghost Resist berry, so Skep predicting that he might need that resistance. But unfortunately for him, Mewtwo fails to KO the Mimikyu with Psy Strike, and not being that he does not want to lose his Mewtwo, the Mimikyu, he's just going to go on to Meow Mix here to sack it, and Skep Gandy is now kind of the back against the wall here. He's going to go out into his Silvally, hoping that this thing can take the hit at +1, but this Mimikyu is going to be able to actually take this guy out with the Play Rough, and that is super effective, so I don't know what type that is. Maybe it's Dragon. I'm not sure. But whatever, it doesn't matter. It's dead, and in comes Raikou now, and he is just looking for a Pokemon to be able to take a hit from +1 Mimikyu, and of all the Pokemon on Ham's team, it is the newcomer Mimikyu coming out here and really putting a dent into the chances of the DC Sceptiles late. Now, thankfully, the Raikou, being that it is kind of bulky, is able to take the +1 Play Rough, but with a Volt Switch now, it's going to die when it comes back in thanks to Stealth Rocks. It is absolutely crippled, and definitely the Mimikyu did what Fulham wanted him to do. So in comes Mewtwo again, but it is in low yellow now, and we are going to see, for the first time, Tapu Koko. The Fulhamites' first pick, and he saved it for right here at the end of the match. And this is a big problem for the DC Sceptiles, because they have no chance of outspeeding it, even with the Scarf, being that they have sticky webs on their field. And the Raikou's just going to die coming in. And he's just going to go out into his Charizard X, which is his one chance to maybe get the resistance here against this Tapu Koko. But with the Stealth Rocks as part of the equation, he's going to be at half health. Tapu Bortles here, I guess his Tapu Koko, is hoping to be able to 2-hit KO with Wild Charge. Charizard's going to go for a Fire Punch, but it's not quite strong enough to take out the Koko, and that is the game, because this Charizard is now going to die. If he had Roost, maybe he should have went for that instead. I'm not entirely sure. But there was only so much he could do. In comes Mewtwo, but after another bout of Stealth Rock damage, he is definitely in killing range of Wild Charge, as Tapu Koko is immensely powerful in the electric terrain. Now, the DC Sceptiles definitely had to be proud of their season. They were able to fight back into the playoffs, and they actually did put a pretty good show. But it is ultimately Fulhamites and Fulham's Fulhamites, and the red card on the Shuckle that ended up being the game-saving play, and then the Mimikyu coming out and performing a mid-battle sweep. Not really a sweep, but went on a little mini rampage there with the help of those hazards to be able to come out on top. So congratulations to the DC Sceptiles for coming this far. But the Nacho Bowl will be between the Jacksonville Fulhamites and the Novato Noiverns, the two teams that, for the majority of the season, people consider the best teams in the league. So it's kind of going to be a battle of juggernauts. None of the underdogs were able to advance, including my Miami Dolphins. And let's go ahead and take a look, because there was two more Battle Factory swaps done at the end of this battle, made in secret, so they don't know who was swapping for who until I told them when they both told me. So they just found out a little bit ago. Let's go ahead and take a look at what will be the Nacho Bowl final rosters between the Fulhamites and the Noiverns. So there's the roster of the Fulhamites, which you just featured in this battle. So they are going to make an interesting swap. They're going to actually swap away Yanmega for the DC Sceptiles, Sil Valley. He also redesignated the tier to be NU, so every Sil Valley form is legal. Skep could not use Sil Valley Steel, being that it was NU, and he paid a PU price for it. Fulham redesignated the tier to NU, so Steel Sil Valley is completely legal for the Fulhamites to use. This is a very minor change, but it actually adds a little bit of unpredictability to the obviously what team, what form the Fulhamites are going to bring in the Taco Bowl. Obviously, not a very impactful change. One that could make Saltfire think twice about what he wants to bring, being that he has that versatile Sil Valley. As for Novato, he is also going to swap away his bug type, but he's going to take a bug back from the Miami Dolphins, my own Miami Dolphins, taking away my Araquanid, which has been a major player for the Dolphins this season if you've been watching those games. Now, obviously, both are Sticky Webbers, so he keeps that, but obviously there's going to be a little bit of difference here between Ribombee, who is a fast and kind of more of a sweeper Pokemon, and the slower but bulkier bulky water Pokemon in Araquanid. Now, he already had a bulky water on the roster in Vaporeon, but obviously, being that they did not know who they were going to swap for between the other, you have to wonder if Novato was worried about maybe Mega Charizard X and wanted a Pokemon with Water Bubble to be able to deal with it. But who knows? I mean, there's a lot that we don't know, but either way, I think Araquanid was a good choice, but also somewhat questionable considering Tapu Koko is on the opponent's team, so that's always going to be highly powerful electric move. Who knows if Araquanid, now that both players are aware of the swap, will be in the Nacho Bowl, but either way, I hope to see Araquanid at least get a chip. Go Novato. Anyway, today's question today is going to be simple. Who's going to win the Season 2 chip? Who's going to win this Nacho Bowl coming up? It will be aired here on the TheKillerNacho channel as soon as it happens. Well, at least maybe a little bit later after it happens. But it will be revealed within the week. They have until Sunday to play. I will be posting it pretty much as soon as I can afterwards. And today's question today is, who do you think's going to win? Now, it's going to be very close. I really kind of want Novato to take it. I like Saltfire. I mean, I like Fulham too, but Saltfire is a really cool guy. He helped me get me back on the ground. And I really like his roster. Fulham obviously going to be a very, very challenging opponent. I think I'm going to give the edge to the Fulhamites. I think my prediction will be the Fulhamites retain their slot as the top dog, but do not count Novato out. He has an incredibly powerful roster. He has an incredibly powerful Uber that's very difficult to get past in his Necrozma, so don't count anybody out. It's going to be a very close one, my friends, and I hope that you will join me again for that battle. So thanks for watching, and leave that comment, and see you guys again next time. Later.